Yes, welcome back to another stream, people. How we all doing? We have a trio of injuries to add on top of the injuries that we did have already. I'm on my own here. I think Jordan's setting up possibly the phone-in show for later on. I think the plan is for later on. But listen, we're going to talk about the latest update on injuries. As I said to you guys at the beginning of the international break, the main thing I ask for during internationals is just no injuries. Now, some of these injuries did occur before the international break, but nevertheless, we have players missing from training, which probably means they will not feature against West Ham this Saturday. Now, obviously, myself and Jordan went over the big run of games we have up until the next international break. We have multiple Premier League games back to back every 3 days sort of thing. We have Champions League, we have Carabao Cup, so squad depth is very important when you're fighting on a multitude of fronts and you're fighting for a number of trophies. So listen, before we get into it, house rules, as always, please, if you would, go down below me and smash that like button. It massively helps us here at City Extra, and subscribe if you're new to the channel. Get your thoughts in the comments as well on how important these injuries are, and we're going to talk about who's going to slot in and how the team will shape up. Now, we brought in a few new players in the summer, so does this mean the newer players will get more game time, maybe a debut for Matheus Nunes this weekend? We're going to get into the whole lot, but the three players, well, I suppose the full injury list right now we have is Kevin De Bruyne, as we know, out for 4 months. He's already finished, I think, a month of that now, or nearly a month of that injury, so he's chalked off. Kevin De Bruyne is out for the foreseeable. We kind of have to forget about Kev for the minute. Unfortunately, not ideal. But we do have more midfield injuries. The latest one is Mateo Kovacic. And this is a big blow. This is a big blow not having Mateo Kovacic, chap, because Mateo Kovacic started off the season so well. Even in preseason, everyone's saying he fits like a glove. It looks like he gets the system. He knows what he's doing. And now he has an injury. This is something that when we signed Mateo Kovacic, we knew was going to be a concern. It was definitely going to be a concern because his injury track record at Chelsea was poor. Real Madrid wasn't great. Inter Milan wasn't great. So we were wary of this, and we were kind of just hoping that our, scientists and physios and doctors and that kind of thing would be able to prevent it. But you know, some things in life you can't prevent. So I'm going to see what the word is on Mateo Kovacic. I know he spoke about it himself during the international break while away with Croatia. The word is that Kovacic was on the bench for both of Croatia's international games just gone, did not feature, did not play any minutes. He must have felt some sort of a problem in training. So we have some quotes here from Kovacic, and we'll talk about the significance of this. So I had some problems before the match with Latvia, but now I'm ready. So he obviously thought after the first match he was going to be okay. He says, but I will try to do the last training to the maximum and the coach will decide. He continued, the most ready will play. It's not easy to play every 3 days, but it's the way it is. There's no other way. So he felt some sort of a problem while training with Croatia. Do we know what body part he was due? It is stated that the City midfielder may have to undergo an MRI scan and could miss 10 days of action or longer, which would subsequently rule him out of action for the Premier League and Champions League clashes with West Ham and Red Star Belgrade, respectively. Should there be valid reason for further evaluation over the player's fitness, then City medical staff are expected to assess Mateo Kovacic's fitness upon his arrival in Manchester this week. So City are going to do their own medical tests, their own scans, but it's not ideal. 10 days or longer. So it seems like he's definitely going to miss the games against West Ham and Red Star Belgrade, pending further assessment for the games coming just after that. Nottingham Forest, Wolves, Newcastle. We're not quite sure the extent, but this is it's a significant blow for Manchester City. It really is. I mean, you look at the way we've been playing so far in the games this season. Kovacic has been really, really good, chat, and taking him out of that midfield cog, that midfield machine, it's gonna have an impact. So who is going to play? I mean, the options we have are, as we know, Pep has been very persistent with Julian Alvarez playing as a number 8/number 10. Phil Foden has done a very good job there. Bernardo Silva can go there. I see some people in the chat giving shouts for Mateus Nunes. Could Mateus Nunes make a debut for Manchester City this weekend as a number 8? My personal opinion is the midfield will be Rodri, Foden, and Alvarez. Now, I will speak about the other two injuries as to, regarding front three and that kind of thing. But Kovacic being a reliable, solid, game controlling type player, it's not ideal. Bernardo could feature there, but is Bernardo more likely to play on the right if Foden is gonna play in midfield? We know Pep's very happy with Foden in midfield right now. We're all very happy with Foden in midfield right now. Slammed it for England the other night against Scotland, so I heard. So I want Foden to play midfield. I'd like Bernardo to play on the right if should be the case. You might see Jeremy Doku play on the right. But yeah, I mean, please no more injuries. We now have 4 injuries to talk about. Like I said, Kevin De Bruyne, the story there, chat. There's nothing we can do about that. Hamstring problem, out for 4 months. And now Kovacic for at least 10 days, possibly more. Rodri, Foden, Nunes, Melker thinks. Chat, how do we feel about the idea of Mateus Nunes starting against West Ham? I mean, we have 2 days. We have 2 days to the game. Today is Thursday. Didn't feature in training today, Kovacic. As we know, he's not going to play. Mateus Nunes, would you like to see him play against West Ham on the weekend? I think, is it a risk? Is it a risk? Because the thing is with Kovacic is the fact we were able to throw him in pretty well straight away because he's an experienced player. He knows the Premier League very well. I know Mateus Nunes does too, but Kovacic has more pedigree, and there was a higher expectation on Mateo Kovacic to come in and bang straight away. Kovacic was not one of those players that we brought in to just come in and learn and take a year to get ready and understand the system. No, Kovacic had to hit the ground running, and he kind of did, to be fair to him. He has done. Is Nunes ready for that? Is Nunes ready? Or do you guys just want to see Nunes because the excitement of a new player? Or do you actually think tactically and to give ourselves the best chance against West Ham? You have to consider, when we play West Ham on Saturday, if you've watched West Ham, you'll know they're going to sit on the edge of the 18-yard box. Terrorist football. Edge of the 18-yard box. We'll have to break them down. There's a good chance that we'll turn into Cross-Chester City for large periods of that game. So you want your midfielders to be ultra creative, to unlock the defense, to pick passes. Does Mateus Nunes have that in his locker right now for Manchester City? I'm not even saying that in like a rhetorical way. I genuinely am asking you lot, does Mateus Nunes have that ready? Can he come in and be a creative spark? Because when you're shaping up against teams that do just set up with a low block and they'll try and hit you on the counter, creativity is key, or you turn into Cross-Chester City. We'll start banging the balls out to the wing. We'll fire them into the 18-yard box, and West Ham will just clear them up for as long as they can. So does Matheus Nunes have the capacity to come in and be ultra creative straight away? Is he a naturally creative player, essentially, is what I'm asking. Alvarez isn't going to be creative. Alvarez, when he plays as a 10, he's a very far forward 10. He's looking to get into goal-scoring positions. Phil Foden is a creative spark. Can Matheus Nunes come in and add creative spark as well? Nearly 200 in the building. Please, if you would, smash a like on the stream. Genuinely, really, really helps us here. Just smash a like, free to do, and subscribe if you're new around here. So there's a debate there to be had. Matheus Nunes, is it ready for... Are you ready to come in, Matheus? Are you ready to come in and be a creative force for us? Because that is what we need right now. I will say, in fairness to Kovacic, his passing and his ability to unlock defenses was very, very solid. You saw was it our first goal? It was our first goal, I believe, against Fulham the other week. The pass he played through, Haaland runs onto it, bang, ball across, Alvarez sticks it in. So, you people are asking who the other two are. The other two are Jack Grealish, was absent from training today. The fact that he hasn't trained today, he wasn't away with England, he missed our game against Fulham, he ain't playing against West Ham. Jack Grealish will not play against West Ham, or at least I'm 99.9% certain Jack Grealish will not play against West Ham. Jack Grealish, for me, you know I'm part of the GDL, the Grealish Defence League. I got a shirt there somewhere, yeah. I defend him, but I'm open and honest in my assessment. Jack Grealish has not been impactful enough for me so far this season. So maybe a bit of time out for him will do him well. Who's going to play in the wings? If Foden is going to play midfield, our winger options are then Bernardo, Doku, Sergio Gomez. Who else have we got, man? Not a huge amount. Unless you put Bernardo in the middle beside Alvarez or Nunes, and you put Foden out on the right. There's a bit of maneuvering to do here, chat. There's a bit of thinking. Put on your thinking caps for a sec, because no Kovacic and no Grealish. You're going to have to move things around. Then the last one, Oscar Bob, yeah, but is he ready? Can you throw him out? Can you start him against West Ham? The kid's only played, 5 minutes against Fulham? And they were a good 5-10 minutes, whatever it was. The run I'm on about, the one through the middle, solid. He's quite clearly a hot prospect. AJ thinks Nunes and Doku will start. I think Doku will feature. I just don't know what he start. So no Grealish, no Kovacic, and the last one is John Stones. So we have 4 injuries of very important players: Grealish, Stones, Kovacic, and De Bruyne. So the word is on City Extra's Twitter. I'll get it up now. Where's it gone? Yeah, here we go. Breaking from Sky Sports News. Mateo Kovacic is absent from Man City this afternoon. Man City trained this afternoon. And then, as per Football Daily and Sky Sports News, Jack Grealish and John Stones were also absent from Man City training this afternoon. Now, we know Jack Grealish and John Stones, neither of them featured for England during the international break. That's always cool with me, but it would have been in pursuit of recovery. Has Alvarez trained? Yeah, Alvarez would have trained. There's nothing to suggest that he hasn't. John Stones, not there either. So midfield, man, we know John Stones he likes to push into the midfield, or Pep likes him to. No Kovacic. You're losing quite a bit of ball control there. You're losing quite a bit of the fluidity in the way we pass the ball around with no John Stones or no Kovacic. Like I'm saying, is Nunes ready to come in and bear that responsibility? Sorry, I didn't realize nobody cared. Big and Jozzy Ball. I'll just shut down the stream now. So 4 major injuries. Chat, what do we think? Midfield wise, I said Rodri, Foden, Alvarez. Yes, Stacey, hope you're enjoying Manchester. I saw you at the Etihad the other day. I hope you enjoyed that. Rico time, maybe. At least Pep's back. That's it. It's a big blow, man. It's a big blow. Like I said, squad depth is so important. Stones, yeah. I'm trying to think. what way to go about it. So if we're going to go with a midfield of Rodri, Foden, and Alvarez, the front three would have to be Haaland, Doku, or Haaland, Doku, Haaland, Bernardo, Doku. Haaland, Bernardo on the right, Doku on the left. That's the way it would have to run, wouldn't it be? If you're putting a Foden and Alvarez midfield. I kind of like the idea of the Foden and Alvarez midfield. I just don't know if I'm ready to see Matheus Nunes start. It's a lot of pressure. Haaland, Doku, Bernardo. Yeah, man. I think Haaland, Doku, Bernardo front three. Is that a good front line for you guys? Haaland, Doku, Bernardo? You have to think of ball retention. Ball retention is such a key to the way we play football. Ball retaining. That's where Jack Grealish is important, you know? He'll keep the thing moving. Bernardo will retain. Foden will retain. Alvarez will retain. Doku, he does Doku. Alvarez will start the bash. Alvarez will. But it's not good, man. It's not good. People have this notion that City have 2 and 3 starting 11s that could go and walk the Premier League. It ain't true, man. It ain't true. Who's missing? Kovacic, Stones, and Grealish. Let me see. Can I get some more updates on it, man? The Kovacic one is annoying because he has been a very important part to our solid start to the season. The Grealish one, it's not the end of the world because he wasn't amazing for us to begin with, but this time out might be good for him. Grealish played a lot of football towards the end of last season. John Stones, massive blow. Nathan Ake had an injury worry. He got taken off after 45 minutes for Holland's first game in the international break, and then subsequently turned out against Ireland on the weekend. Keep Bernardo in midfield. We need to retain the ball. Foden should be able to retain the ball. Bernardo can do it from the wing. I think one of our wingers has to be ball retaining. So if you're going to play Kovacic, you need to put Bernardo on the other wing. If you're going to play Doku, you need to play Bernardo on the other wing for ball retention. Pep won't allow 2 wingers to be flyers, you know. Vardiol, Akanji. So the starting 11 should be Ederson, Walker, Diaz, Akanji, Vardiol, or Walker, Diaz, Vardiol, Ake, Rodri, Foden, Alvarez, Haaland, Bernardo, Doku. We're all going to have different opinions, man. We're all going to have different opinions. But for me, it's a big blow. Because even if we weren't going to start with Kovacic anyway, to be able to bring him off the bench would have been a good thing. Just to slow things down the way Gundogan would have. In Pep, we trust, man. Exactly. Foden can't retain the ball. I disagree, man. I think Foden can retain the ball. I don't think Foden loses the ball very often. Foden will be left wing, but then what are you going? Bernardo, Alvarez midfield. These are problems. You've no Kovacic and you've no De Bruyne. Two of our most experienced midfielders. You're now putting in Alvarez, who's a number 9, and saying you have to be a main midfielder. Foden, new to being a midfielder at this level. Nunes, new to the team. You know? I'm not trying to make it seem worse. I'm just stating the facts. That this is the reality of when you get injuries to important players. Like the 4 players that are injured are all senior players in this team, important players in this team. You got to talk about it when it happens. I don't even know what part of his body is injured, Kovacic, but they're saying that he's gonna, or he has, or will undergo an MRI scan in Manchester. I assume he's already done it. Let me see, can I find what part of his body it is? It doesn't even, the article doesn't even say. Freddie, if you're watching, can you message me and let me know if you know yourself at all what part of his body it is? Because maybe we can make our own estimations. I can be Dr. Hugh for a few minutes. Not that I have a clue. It's his back, is it? It's his back, says Samad. Okay, if it is back, then that's tricky, man. That's tricky. Back problems, man, they can be deceiving. They can be longer, they can be shorter. We may get told he'll be fine in a week. We may get told it could be 8 weeks. That's the one with backs, you know. And you got to be careful. Pep will cook. Well, having Pep back in the dugout this weekend will be a major thing. You know, I wouldn't want Juan Malilo to have to deal with all this because it's tricky. What's up with Jack? Let me see. Can I find what's wrong with Jack Grealish? Grealish. Right. Here we go. John Stones. The defender played the full match as City lost the Community Shield, but is yet to feature for City in the Premier League due to hip injury. John Stones is his hip. Pep Guardiola confirmed last month that Stones would not return until after his international break, and assistant manager Juan Malilo confirmed in early September that the centre-back was on the right track. He said Stones is more or less there as well. We're fine. We're okay. It's not decisive. Right. Jack Grealish. The midfielder sat out City's win over Fulham before the international break with a thigh injury and subsequently withdrew from the England squad. Lilo said before the withdrawal from England duty, it's going to be difficult for Jack to make it, but I'm not a doctor and it will be difficult for me to explain. City will be hopeful Grealish recovers with West Ham up and next in the league. He ain't recovering for West Ham. If he didn't train today, he's not playing against West Ham. The celebrations got to Jack. Whenever Grealish was going to get injured, this was always, you guys were always going to say that. But it's a big blow for me. He's a very important part of the way we play. I think he's got more to do, Jack Grealish. He's got to start adding G&A. He's got to start adding more and more output. But to the overall balance of the way we play, Jack Grealish is, whether you like it or not, he's pretty crucial. So John Stones saying he's there or thereabouts, Juan Malilo says. Yeah, more or less there as well. So John Stones, you'd like to think, will be back in training after the West Ham game. I'd say they'll have a day off or a recovery session Sunday. John Stones should start to be getting back involved at that stage, maybe working towards Forest Saturday week. I wouldn't say he'll feature, maybe 20 minutes against Red Star Belgrade, but definitely work towards Forest and Wolves. Ideally, you want Stones, Kovacic, and Grealish all back and ready to go by the end of September. All of them. They're all obviously at different stages of their injuries, but we got Brighton, you got Arsenal, I believe, is the first game in October. I think, yeah, it is after Wolves. And then, it's tough. You want them all back. Big up Mohammed with the super chat. I wish Gomez was given a chance on left wing. Bro, Gomez cooked, man. Gomez cooked when he came on against Fulham. Give him his credit, man. Give him his credit. I wasn't familiar with your game, Sergi. That assist he got for Haaland was impressive. Take his defensive duties off him. He seems to be a better player. So I think he will get more opportunities, Mohammed. I think he will. He'll get more chances. We don't have many left wingers. You got Jack Grealish. Foden now playing as midfielder. Doku's a more right-sided player, but he can play left wing. Elise Gomez is a left-sided player. I think he's going to get more chances. So ideally, you want all three of these players back for Arsenal. John Stones, like I said, should be working his way towards, let me get this up. Let me share my screen, man. Share screen. Entire screen. Can you lot see this? Just say yes in the chat if you can just see this normally. You know me, chat. I'm not great. When I'm on the fixture page, you can see this fine, yeah? Just say yes or no. When I'm on this page now, does that just look normal to you? You can see it fine. Yeah. Okay. Nice one. Okay. So we got West Ham this Saturday. None of Stones, Kovacic, or Grealish will feature in that. The thing with Kovacic is, like I said, we don't know how long he's out for. MRI scan, at least 10 days, they say. So he'll definitely miss Belgrade and Nottingham Forest. Maybe even Newcastle, depending on the severity of it. But John Stones should be working his way towards this one, Nottingham Forest. Definitely. If he's nearly ready, if he's nearly back training properly, Nottingham Forest, he should be saying, I want decent game time there. I'd write him off for Belgrade. I would. But we want them all back for this one here. All back for this one. Even Leipzig away will be tough, man. You want to win. You want to win. Look, you've got Belgrade, Leipzig in Champions League. Belgrade, Leipzig, Young Boys, and Leipzig. You want to win all four of them. So your last two against Belgrade away in December in Serbia and Young Boys at home. You can kind of chill out a bit and let the up and comers have a go. So you want to win these kind of games. But these are the trials and tribulations you got to deal with. Arsenal, United. You know what I'm saying, man? What search history? Behave, boss. Behave. Anyone know who's out? Stones, Kovacic, and Grealish. Yeah. So that's kind of the news. We'll just have to keep an eye on it. I'm going to do a video now in a minute on this new kid, Valentin Barco from Boca Juniors. I'm going to make a video on him now, so keep an eye out for that. But in terms of injuries, not ideal. They won't feature against West Ham. We'll do a proper preview on West Ham tomorrow evening. But yeah, not cool, man. Not cool. I still back us. I still think we'll be fine. Pep will get it right. We'll get the win, I believe. But it does make it tougher for you. We still have Rico Lewis. Yeah, I'm just kind of talking about experience. You know what I mean? Like the four players that are injured, they're all experienced players. And when you're going to places like West Ham where they're going to set up tough, you want experienced players who've been there through that situation before and they know what they're doing. I think I can trust Foden, I can trust Bernardo, I can trust Haaland, I can trust Rodri. Alvarez in midfield, we need to see. Done well up to now, we need to see. Doku, we need to see. I think we'll beat West Ham, man. I think we'll beat West Ham. But you got to talk about these things, man. You got to acknowledge when players are injured and try and put your jigsaw together. See what you think is best. I want to know what you guys think. I'm not overreacting, man. I'm not overreacting. I'm just telling you who's injured. I'm telling you what it means for the team. I still think we'll win. I still back us to win, man. Yeah, this is true as well. Massive pitch. Where is it? There we go. I was at the West Ham Stadium last week for the Sidemen match. It's a huge pitch. So maybe it is a game where Doku should be let off the leash, you know, and let players like Foden thread balls in behind for Doku and Haaland as well. Huge pitch. Huge pitch. Fast players burn up the grass. Foden, thread those balls through for Haaland and Doku. And Alvarez too. I'm not stressing. I'm just telling you the news. Check out Doku versus West Ham preseason. I'll have to have a look. Anyways, I'm going to go do this video on this Barco kid from Boca Juniors. Keep an eye out for that. Don't be stressing anyway. I'm just telling you the news. I'm just doing my job. I'm just telling you who's injured. There's injury news. I'm telling you who's injured. I'm not telling you to panic. I'm not telling you to be stressing or worried. I'm just telling you who's not about and what it means and what teams we could play. I mean, Lazzuli's coming here with his own team. Ederson, Walker, Akanji, Diaz, Vardiol, Rodri, Bernardo, Alvarez, Doku left wing, Haaland through the middle, Foden right wing. I could see it. I'm happy with that team, even if it's Bernardo and Foden swap. So Bernardo goes right wing, Foden midfield. I'm happy with Foden right wing, Bernardo midfield. I'm perfectly cool with that. This team that Lazzuli has on screen is going to beat West Ham. I fully back that. This team is on paper should beat West Ham. Like you got the two pacey boys there, Doku and Haaland. They'll use the space. It's about Foden, Bernardo being creative. Even Vardiol, we know he's got a good pass on him. I think we're going to slap him up. I think we're going to slap West Ham up regardless. But like I said, I'm just telling you the news. I'm just telling you the news, man. We all need to chill. Anyways, I'm going to wrap it up now. Big up to all of you for coming in. Smash a like on your way out. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. And keep an eye out. I'm going to do this video on our new signing from Boca Juniors, Valentin Barco. My guy. I'm going to see what one with him. Anyway, big up in a bit.